All those tomato questions. Hey, do you hear them too? Why my tomato plants don't grow? Why my tomato plants don't produce fruits? Why flowers fall off? Why leaves curl? So many whys. Trust me, it all starts right here in that moment. And today I am going to show you what is the key to growing tomatoes successfully. Hello, my name is Tanya. I'm a professional gardener with years of experience. Hopefully my experience can be useful to you as well. In my previous video, by the way, you might want to watch that too, so I'll leave the link in description. In that video, I showed you a very cool, innovative way of starting tomatoes. Look at these seedlings, how pretty they are. But if I leave them like that for too long, they would start losing their strength. At this stage, they need good source of food to form a productive plant. When you see the first true leaves on your tomato, it's the sign that your seedling started to originate its reproductive organs. Now it's time to transplant them into individual pots. And here where common mistakes arise. Usually we all want to save space, and that's temptation to use something like that. But that's your biggest mistake. Before growing season begins, I start collecting those things. Those are milk packages. It's not because I'm trying to reduce using of plastic. Well, that's too, but that's not the main reason. The main reason is that to form a productive plant, tomato seedling needs at least half of a liter pot. This, after I cut off its top part, this is around 700 milliliters. They would be easy to utilize them after using because I can compost them. Actually, there are lots of benefits. I would easily take my seedling out of this by cutting it. And because those are tall and kind of lean and have a shape of a square, they save space dramatically. The next thing is soil. It has to be good, fertile soil mix. I also add vermiculite, and I added to my soil mix in the proportion of 1 liter of vermiculite per 4 liters of garden soil. If you didn't know, vermiculite is a natural volcanic mineral, and for horticultural purposes it is treated with heat, and after that it behaves like sort of a popcorn. Vermiculite has many beneficial qualities that are good for your soil and for your plants. It's aerating, moisture retentive, nutrition retentive, lightweight, non-toxic, sterile, does not rot or mold, and has a neutral pH. Even the best soil mix can be too heavy for your young seedlings. Adding vermiculite helps to control moisture, and in my case, when I use milk packages, it's really important to control moisture because it doesn't have drainage holes in it. But even if your seedling starting pot has drainage holes, there's a big chance, especially if you are a beginner, that you will overwater your plant. Vermiculite successfully prevents that. Later in this video, I will show you how I water my seedlings, and now let's transplant them. Unfortunately, in the beginning of the season, that was the right time to do that. I broke my fingers and, well, that would be a challenge for me, but I have no other option. I need to transplant my seedlings anyway, so I have one properly working hand. Let's do that. So I fill container with the soil mix, and I save some space to later add more soil as the seedling grows. I have to remind you that those are answers to all of your whys. Good size container and good soil mix, those things are critical. As soon as seedling gets into the soil, it sort of analyzes the conditions. It determines its future behavior. By the way, have you seen wild tomatoes? They are called pimp wild tomatoes or Solanum pimpinellifolium in Latin. Google them. They are really interesting. They are literally growing on rocks in North Peru or also in Ecuador. And they are surviving in really tough conditions like rocks, poor soil, drought, but their fruits are smaller than the smallest cherry variety you probably grew. And if you're trying to grow heirloom tomatoes, for example, like an ox heart, and put it into a small container and pour soil, don't be surprised that your ox heart is the size of a cherry. But I have to warn you about going the right opposite way and placing your seedlings into soil that is too fertile and container that is too large. If you do that, tomato seedlings sort of realize that they are in tomato paradise. And this is about the problem when your tomatoes mostly grow leaves. Beautiful and green, but we don't need leaves, we need fruits. Also, large container need lots of watering. And when your seedling is really small and have a poor root system, it's simply unable to utilize all this moisture. And here we have fungus molds and also fungus nuts. So after I filled my package with the soil mix, I tamp it down a bit, make a hole in which seedling will fit. Then I carefully pull the little seedlings out of my snail seed starter and clip the main root a bit. Tomatoes actually benefit from that. They like to be transplanted. They like their root system to be disturbed. Now I've put it into place and I slightly deepen the seedling. It only helps to produce more roots. And now it's time to water our transplant. And please pay attention to that. We don't need a flooding and avoid watering too close to the plant. Better to do it closer to the package edges. Actually, as I already told before, overwatering is a common beginner mistake, especially with little seedlings. Transplanting, even though tomatoes benefit from it, transplanting is a stress for a plant. And so when you see this little body with drooping leaves, your initial thought would be it needs more water. And then leaves droop more and you add more water and then your seedling suffocates. So at the beginning, water slightly using douche just as I showed you. And if you grow your tomatoes under natural light, don't expose your transplants to the sun right away. Give them some time. But it's better if you grow them under special grow lights anyway. In Finland, where I live, it's the only option. So depending on the condition you're growing your tomatoes in, you might want to water them every 3-4 days. It's easy to check the soil moisture by sticking your finger into it. If it feels too dry, maybe it's time to water your tomatoes. If this video had value for you, hit the like button. And if you haven't seen my previous video where I showed you how I started my tomato, watch it next.